You, Belle. As Belle said, she was following Erica. How do you follow Belle? And so many of the others on this call. Um, I'm Annie Wu Henry. I'm calling in from Philly, proud Pennsylvania resident, and it's a very important state this year. So everyone in our state, really make sure you're voting. Um, but I'll start out and talking to younger folks that are on this call or listening in. Um, it's really an honor to be on a call with so many folks here. And people like the Honorable Catherine Tai and Reps Chu and Reps Meng that I've actually gotten to know personally through work in politics. And I kind of bring that back to that the first person that I met in politics that was an elected official. I came from a very small town, and political activism and movement wasn't super visible there. But the first person I met in federal politics was actually then Senator Kamala Harris. And I was living in New York at the time, just graduating college. And trying to figure out the world. I had studied political science and journalism and media, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. But I knew that I cared and wanted to get involved. And I actually just ran into her when I was in a building, trying to find the bathroom. And I like did a double take. She had just announced her candidacy back in 2019 for her presidential run. And she asked if we wanted to take a picture. And I told her that I was interested in politics, but I didn't work in it and I didn't know how. And she said, stay involved. We need people like you. And I wanted to start with that because, Vice President Harris is someone who champions and sees and hears young people and wants us to not only be in the room, but be a part of the conversation. And we as young people need to do our part as well. Millennials and Gen Z are going to be the biggest voting bloc this election. But we are oftentimes not a voting bloc that turns out. But we have such potential to make such a difference in this election cycle if we show up. And we, out of everyone, have the most at stake because it is our futures that are on the line. It is our planet. It is our rights. And we're going to have to deal with whatever repercussions happen the longest. My first election that I got to vote in presidential was 2016. And it's really nice that this election cycle with the Harris-Walz ticket, I feel like young people are energized and excited because we've had so much fear and doom and gloom in most of our political life so far. And it really feels like we get to vote for something and we get to vote. We know that emotion in politics is such a strong factor. It's very persuasive, but it feels a lot better to act out of emotions of joy and excitement and optimism versus fear. And so I think with young people, again, like we have the biggest opportunity and we also have the most to lose if we don't show up. So if you are a young person, talk to your friends, talk to your people on the internet that you're friends with, talk to your family, talk to your roommates, talk to your fellow classmates if you're in school, and organize. We also are like the most technologically savvy. And there's so many ways that we can be reaching out to people in our lives to make sure that they get involved and they're taking action so that, like many people on this call have said, we don't wake up the day after election day and feel like we could have done something more. And I will turn it over to Sam.